Hey guys, WrestleMania 34 went down tonight, and before I recap it, I just want to apologize for the way I sound. I've been battling a head cold, and then I was also at the FC Cincinnati home opener last night. It was very cold, and I was yelling a lot during the match, so that probably has some effect on the way my voice sounds today. It's been coming in and out throughout the day. I'm going to try and do my best to power through this WrestleMania 34 recap video. So let's get started. The first match on the WrestleMania 34 card was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Your typical Battle Royal, they've had this Battle Royal in place since WrestleMania 30, and nothing too special happened until the end. The final three were Matt Hardy, Baron Corbin, and Mojo Rawley. Now Corbin and Rawley are the previous two winners of this Battle Royal, and they're teaming up on Hardy to try and eliminate him, but I thought, brother Nero, Jeff Hardy, might make a return and help his brother out. But instead it was Bray Wyatt, who apparently made an appearance after he fell into the lake of reincarnation after the Ultimate Deletion. He ends up helping Matt Hardy get the win, and now it looks like Hardy and Wyatt are in some sort of partnership. And I'm very sure actually that Wyatt is playing Matt Hardy same way Randy Orton played Bray Wyatt last year. So it should be interesting to see how long this relationship lasts between the two wrestlers. And I do want to know how Brother Nero fits into this picture when Jeff Hardy does eventually come back. The next match on the card was the Cruiserweight Championship match. This was the finals of the Cruiserweight title tournament ever since Enzo was forced out of the company due to his legal troubles that he's having right now, and they had to vacate the title. So in the finals it was Mustafa Ali taking on Cedric Alexander, and I thought this would be a really good match, possibly a show stealer, and it was a really good match. And then we have two guys who fly around the ring doing crazy stuff like Alexander and Ali. You're guaranteed to have a fun match, and that's what these two guys did. They delivered a very, very fun match, really cool to watch, and in the end Cedric Alexander got the win. He is the new Cruiserweight champion, and very, very happy to see Cedric Alexander as the Cruiserweight champ. He's been the most athletic guy in the entire Cruiserweight division ever since it was reintroduced to WWE, I believe last year. So I was very happy to see him win the Cruiserweight title. I felt like he deserved it. After that, it was the Women's Battle Royal. This had a great mix of current roster women and NXT women who were making their WrestleMania debuts, such as Sari Kane. I think Peyton Royce was in there as well. And in the end, though, Naomi got the win. They played up to where the final two, it looked like, were Bayley and Sasha Banks. Bayley ends up turning on Sasha Banks, doing a very Banks-like move to Banks to get her out, but she forgot Naomi was still in the match, and Naomi ended up tossing Bayley over the top rope to get the win. So it was nice to see Naomi get the win and become the first ever WrestleMania Battle Royal, Women's Battle Royal winner, but it also furthered the feud between Banks and Bayley. I was pulling, however, for Becky Lynch. I'd love to see her win. I feel like she is crazy over with the crowd, but WWE isn't really doing much with her, so I thought maybe she'd get the win, but that did not happen. As I said, Naomi got the win here. Then once the main show started, it was the Triple Threat Intercontinental Championship match to kick things off. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor versus The Miz. And to me, this was the match of the night. It stole the show. Very entertaining to watch. Tons of action throughout. Balor, Miz, Rollins all brought their A game, and it was on full display here. The only beef I have is that Balor was not in his Demon King gear, which usually stays for big pay-per-views, so I thought we were going to get some cool Demon King look from Balor tonight. He just came out in his regular Finn Balor gear, so I was a little disappointed by that, but that did not take away from the match. And in the end, Seth Rollins gets the win. He is the Intercontinental Champion, the final member of the Shield to become a Grand Slam champion. Dean Ambrose accomplished the feat this past summer, Roman Reigns this past fall, and now Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. All four men have held the tag team titles, United States title, Intercontinental title, and WWE title. So they might play this up if Rollins and Reigns, or Ambrose and Reigns, or Ambrose and Rollins ever butt heads, saying how all four of these men came into the Shield together, all Grand Slam champions, as Seth Rollins was the last guy to make that claim. And I was hoping I would see my boy Dean Ambrose come back, make a surprise return, attack Seth Rollins. That did not happen, but never know, it might happen on Raw tomorrow night. Just have to wait and see. But as I said, the match itself stole the show, best match of the night. Rollins, your new Intercontinental Champion. The following match was the SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte defending her title against the undefeated Asuka. This was a really good match too. Not as good as the Intercontinental title match, but considering what they had to follow, they did a really good job following up the Intercontinental Championship match with this match. I thought for sure Asuka was going to win, and then Carmella was going to cash in her briefcase and win the title from Asuka. That did not happen. Charlotte ended up making Asuka submit to the figure 8 on one arm. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. I feel like they basically have Charlotte do everything possible for the women's division. I mean, she was the last Divas champion, first ever women's champion when it was reintroduced. And she was also the one to break the streak of Asuka on one arm, no doubt. So I don't know how I feel about Charlotte beating Asuka. Perhaps they could have a rematch in the future and Asuka could get her revenge there, but Charlotte gets the win tonight. After that, it was the Fatal 4-Way United States Championship match. Jinder Mahal taking on Randy Orton, taking on Bobby Roode, taking on Rusev. I was hoping Rusev would win, make WrestleMania Day truly Rusev Day. I had no idea he was going to win, but I did want Rusev to win. It was an okay match, some solid action throughout, and in the end, Jinder Mahal actually got the win. He was the guy I did not think was going to win. I thought it was going to be either Orton or Roode, but I was pulling for Rusev, but Mahal kind of steals the win here. He ends up hitting his finisher on Rusev and gets the pin and the win, and is the new United States Champion. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with the United States Championship going forward, since there are 4 guys involved in this title picture. After that, it was Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle taking on Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. This was a great match. My second favorite match of the night behind the Intercontinental Championship match. It was crazy, wild, a lot of fun to watch, some cool spots. Triple H and Stephanie really made Ronda Rousey look like $1 million in her debut match. And Rousey herself was able to hang with the best that the business has ever seen: Triple H, Kurt Angle, and Stephanie McMahon. Kurt Angle showed he could still go. He pulled off some cool moves. And in the end, Rousey was able to make Stephanie submit to an armbar for the win. And as you expect, I mean, there's no way they're going to have Ronda Rousey lose in her debut match on WrestleMania when the world is watching. So Rousey gets the win. It will be very interesting to see where the story goes, since her and Kurt Angle essentially defeated their bosses at WrestleMania via submission, making them tap out. So I do want to know where the storyline is going to go from here. I wonder if Stephanie's going to have like a hired gun to try and take out Rousey, if Kurt Angle's still going to beat GM. All that will probably be answered tomorrow on Raw. The next match was the Triple Threat Tag Team Championship match between the Usos, the New Day, and the Bludgeon Brothers. This was pretty much a squash match. The Bludgeon Brothers dominated mainly throughout the entire thing and got the win. I was expecting a lot more. I didn't really want it to be a squash match. You got teams as talented as the Usos and the New Day who put on classics seemingly every time they face off against each other. I thought throwing in the Bludgeon Brothers would be a new dynamic instead of just a squash match. So the Bludgeon Brothers just made to look good here, and they dominated, won the tag team championships from the Usos, who kind of sucks. I mean, this is the first time the Usos were on the main WrestleMania card, and the first time they're there, they get squished. So hopefully next year they actually feature more prominently on the WrestleMania card as opposed to this year. After that, it was Undertaker versus John Cena. Yes, John Cena did end up facing the Undertaker. The Undertaker was there. John Cena was actually in the crowd in jeans and a t-shirt, drinking a beer, watching WrestleMania as a fan, like he said he was going to do. And a referee came, whispered something in his ear. John Cena hopped the barricades, sprinted up the ramp toward the locker room, came back out later in his gear, waiting for the Undertaker. Then Elias comes out, much to the chagrin of the crowd. But Cena pretty much manhandled Elias, was walking back up the ramp, and the Undertaker came out. Not the American Badass Undertaker, the regular Undertaker. And had a really cool moment before he came out. So the lights go out, they come back on, there's a spotlight in the middle of the ring with the Undertaker's coat and his hat, symbolic of what he did last year at the end of WrestleMania when he let those in the ring. Then purple lightning comes down, strikes it, and it's gone. And he comes out to the ring. It's the Phenom Undertaker, not the American Badass Undertaker. I was hoping to be the American Badass. see him rolling down in the ring on his motorcycle, but it was just a regular Phenom Undertaker, and he destroyed John Cena. I don't even know if the match lasted 5 minutes. Cena was no match for the Undertaker. It was a short match, and Undertaker dominated the entire thing. So I don't know if this was a swan song for the Undertaker, or if this is going to lead to some sort of character development for John Cena, or maybe a disappearance for John Cena as he goes to film another movie. I'm not too entirely sure, but my guess is if this is not the final match of The Undertaker, next year we're going to have Cena versus Undertaker in a real WrestleMania match, with possibly a real WrestleMania build-up in what could be The Undertaker's final match. But I've been saying that the past couple years. I think this might be The Undertaker's last match, so until The Undertaker officially retires, we're just going to have to wait and see. After that, it was Daniel Bryan making his in-ring return with Shane McMahon taking on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Stipulation here was if Owens and Zayn win, they are then rehired back to SmackDown Live. I thought with this stipulation, either Bryan was going to turn on McMahon or McMahon was going to turn on Bryan. That didn't happen. They were a cohesive unit, and Bryan ended up making, I think he made Sami Zayn tap out to the S-Lock to get the win. So as of now, Owens and Zayn are no longer on SmackDown. Should be interesting to see if they pop up on Raw or continue to do sneak attacks on SmackDown. But in the end, Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon got the win. And this was really a feel-good moment for Daniel Bryan. He had a nice little intro saying like how fast and widespread the Yes Movement grew before he was forced to retire. And then seeing him back in his first official match out of retirement in the same building where he won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the main event at WrestleMania 30 was really cool. So I was really happy to see Daniel Bryan back in the ring. And as I said, him and Shane McMahon got the win. After that, it was the Raw Women's Championship match. Nia Jax challenging Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's title. Now before the match, Nia Jax took out Mickie James. Mickie James had helped, was like acting like the manager for Alexa Bliss. Jax destroyed her pretty much. And then once the match started, the main focus was a Bliss working on Nia Jax's eye and like cheating to try and get the win. Didn't happen. Nia Jax gets the win with I think she hit Bliss with a Samoan drop from the second turnbuckle, and that was it. So we have a new Raw Women's Champion. Happy to see Nia Jax get the win. I don't know what they're going to do with Nia Jax as the champion. I don't know if they have really anybody who could like take her out on Raw. My first guess would have been Asuka, but Asuka's now on SmackDown. They might have Ronda Rousey take Nia Jax out for the Raw Women's title, but I don't think her feud with Stephanie McMahon is over yet. So unless they continue the Alexa Bliss Nia Jax feud, I don't know where they're going to go with the Raw Women's title. The next match was the WWE Championship match. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura in a Wrestle Kingdom rematch from the New Japan Pro Wrestling days. This was a good match. I was expecting a little bit more from it, but overall I was very satisfied with how the match went. I thought Nakamura was going to come away with the win, but that was not the case. AJ Styles put off this sick counter at the end, turned into a Styles Clash for the win. So he retains his WWE Championship. And in the end, it looked like Nakamura and Styles were like, shaking hands, hugging it out, good sportsmanship. They were in New Japan together, and now they're in a WrestleMania main event together. But Nakamura ends up hitting Styles with a low blow, and seemingly turned heel. He attacked Styles after the match, and it's going to be an interesting dynamic now that Shinsuke Nakamura is a heel. Ever since he came over from New Japan to NXT to the main roster, he's been a face. So with Styles still the champion, and we have a heel Shinsuke Nakamura on his tails, this should make for a fun continuation of the storyline. And hopefully Nakamura wins the belt, because I think he's like 0-3 now in WWE Championship matches. After that, it was the Raw Tag Team Championship match. The Bar defending the title against Braun Strowman and a partner of his choosing. Now I was thinking it could have been Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe has not been seen for quite a while, and him and Braun Strowman would make for a dominant tag team. But instead, Braun Strowman picked a kid from the audience named Nicholas. It was funny, but at the same time a little underwhelming when you're thinking Braun Strowman's gonna have a surprise wrestler as his partner. And so basically Nicholas just stood there on the side of the ring the entire time while Braun didn't miss the work. There was a funny part where Braun actually tagged Nicholas in, but Nicholas just tagged Braun right back in, and Braun finished the match. So yeah, Braun Strowman and Nicholas are the Raw Tag Team Champions. I have no idea how this is going to play out tomorrow on Raw. I'm pretty sure the Nicholas kid was just planted in the audience, but on the off chance he's just a lucky kid who got picked to do this really cool thing, I wonder if he's going to be at Raw tomorrow. And then finally, the main event, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, a rematch from WrestleMania 31. The crowd could not have been more disinterested in this match, and yeah, they were chanting like CM Punk and this is awful. They were just not into it. Something was going on in the crowd where most of their attention was the entire time. And for the match itself, it's your typical Brock Lesnar match. He comes in, does a few German suplexes, it's a few F5s, and that's pretty much all he does. And that was pretty much all he did today. German suplexes, F5s. I think he hit Roman Reigns with 6 F5s. And pretty much he dominated Roman Reigns the entire match. The only part that really got the crowd's attention, and they flash back to SummerSlam 2016, or maybe it was 2017, I forget which one. Where it was Lesnar versus Orton, when Lesnar was hitting Orton with those elbow shots to the head. The same thing happened tonight to Reigns, and Reigns was busted open. After 3 shots, Reigns' head was busted open, and blood was pouring out of it like crazy. That was the most blood I've seen in a WWE match since I was a kid, growing up watching wrestling during the Attitude Era. And that was a welcome sight. I like seeing that. I mean, when it's done to death, it can be overkill, but when it's like done right like that, and Reigns is just gushing blood, it adds for a lot of dramatic effect, a visual effect, which was great. But in the end, Lesnar hit Reigns with a 6 F5, I think, to pin him for the win, which stunned me. I was thinking for sure Roman Reigns was going to get the win. Not the case. Lesnar retains the Universal Championship cleanly over Roman Reigns. And at the end of the show, Roman Reigns walked up the ramp, kind of looked back at the crowd, and had this look on his face. I don't know if they're going to do some character development or not with Roman Reigns. Is he going to turn heel? Probably not. Reigns will probably never turn heel. And I was also kind of hoping Dean Ambrose might come out and attack Roman Reigns. You know, Dean Ambrose is my boy, my favorite wrestler, the hometown favorite here in Cincinnati, so I was hoping he might make a surprise return. Did not happen tonight. And Roman Reigns, don't know what's going to happen with him. Brock Lesnar, don't know what's going to happen with him. So a lot of shocking endings to matches tonight. Big shock to end the night with Brock Lesnar retaining the title cleanly, retaining the championship cleanly. And that was WrestleMania 34 in a nutshell. Only beef I have is that it was way too long. If WWE is going to keep doing these 7-hour marathon shows, either put it on Saturday or start the show earlier, because it is close to 1 o'clock in the morning, and some of us have to get up and go to work on Monday mornings. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I got for you. If you have the time, check it out. You got 7 hours to kill. Watch WrestleMania 34. It was a good show. Best 2 matches on the card. Angle and Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon in a triple threat Intercontinental Championship match. That was the best match of the night. Stole the show. And if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Check out the description below for links to my Twitter account at Cincy Fan Zone and my website, cincyfanzone.blogspot.com. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.